Okay, in this lab, we are going to talk about doing some block printing with pigments. So as opposed to dyeing fabric or paper or some kind of textile with natural dyes, where it permeates the entire surface, and the front and the back obviously have taken the dye, it becomes a whole different color. With pigments, the pigments sit on the surface. So think about the way that a print is on a t-shirt. The whole t-shirt might be black, and that's been dyed with black dye, but the print that has the logo on the front of the t-shirt has been printed with pigments. Okay, so just not to confuse you, I've got some regular paint. If you've got paint, that's great. This is acrylic. I'm going to put some in my palette here so we can easily do some block printing with that. And if you don't have some paint, I've gotten some random things that I found outside. You can make some pigment. You basically just need maybe some earthen material. You could grind up a brick or a rock, or in this case I just got some dirt from outside, some really nice composty dirt, and this is from my outdoor fire pit. This is some ash. So what you can do is take this and use a binder, and in this case I'm going to use glue, and see if you can make a thick pigment. So let's see. This will be quite the experiment. If I can get some glue to act as my binder, and that's going to be what keeps my ash and dirt mud where it needs to be. And then again, if I had like a mortar and pestle, but I've just got a spoon and a bowl, I could grind this up really nicely into a powder. Ooh. But let's see what I can do right here, making a little mess. It seems like maybe a lot of glue for my dirt ratio. But let's see. Oh, there we go. It's getting to be a nice color. And then it'd be interesting to see how this would dry once that glue ends up drying clear. If I would see like the vibrancy of my dirt again. If I would see my mud color. So using natural earth pigments to sort of make prints with has been around for centuries and centuries and centuries, which is why I was able to easily find out how to do this. Lots of different cultures have done this. Dates as far back as time, probably. Prints are a great way to get motifs onto textiles. Different designs which represent different things, different symbols. So super important. Okay, so say this is some paint that I made, some pigment that I made by mixing my earthen powder with a binder. Ooh, now let's see if I can not make the biggest mess in the world trying to get some ash. I'm gonna grind it up and see. Ooh, yeah. I wonder if this will end up being very gray, or if it'll end up being very black. But I think they're holding up pretty nicely next to my acrylic red. And so acrylic paint, just like acrylic the textile, is a synthetic paint that is basically like a plastic. Not dissimilar to the textile, or the fiber, I should say. Okay, so I'm getting a nice black with my ash and my binder. And I'm just trying to get it as fine as I can, so that I don't have chunks, and so that it can behave similarly to a pigment paint. Okay, so there's my palette. Very proud of myself. Okay, and obviously I could paint this onto the surface with paint brushes, but if I was doing a traditional block printing, I could use something that would make an impression, and in this case I'm going to use a bottle top, and I could place it onto the paper or textile, and I could make a repeat print pretty easily. Okay, so say I've got all that there, and there we go. I could do this sort of pattern. And this is basically a block print. Really, really simple. And again, this is a print, not a dye. This is pigment sitting on the surface. This has not permeated all the way through to the back, though maybe you can see through, but it's pigment sitting on the surface. So let me try with some of my natural dyes, again, assuming that you don't have potentially any paint lying around the house. Let me try to clean this off without making a giant mess. So let's try, ooh, this is chunky, my earthen paint to do my block print. There we go, we're getting something. Gotta get it evenly spread around. Uh-oh, got a chunk there. But not bad. And imagine, you know, this would look really cool if I made it into this amazing design. And then let's give a try with our ash. I think I'm getting the hang of it now. I say that, but this is a different one, so let's see. Ooh. Oh, nice. This one feels a lot stickier, but I like it. There we go. So I made some pigments with natural materials, and I'm doing a block print. And this was on paper, so I'm kind of cheating. Here is a little piece of fabric, little piece of cotton muslin, so an unbleached cotton. And let me see how that does there. Oh yeah. Maybe I can do some kind of, it's almost like a Celtic design, right? And I'll try, I think my favorite might be the ash. So if you can go in a fireplace or a fire pit and get some ash, that's the way to go. Maybe it's that my dirt, because it's been raining, is so full of liquid. It's like, feels watery by comparison, whereas the ash and the binder feels a lot thicker, so it feels more like paint. But there we go. Here are some block prints, and I want you to try this. You definitely do not have to make your own paint. If you have some paint that you can use or some kind of pigment to use, you can do that, and just find something, again, like bottle top, or I was going to use toilet paper roll. You can use a rock, you can use a leaf, anything to press into the paint. You could use your own finger and press it in and make an impression. And that is a basic block print. And then something to definitely notice, that it is not a dye and it's not necessarily permeating the fabric. It's a pigment sitting on the surface of the textile.